Welcome to another edition of The Explainer. Today, we've got a truly fascinating story to unpack for you. Now listen, when you hear the name of our subject today, it is incredibly easy to jump straight to thoughts of unimaginable wealth, massive global corporations, and, billionaire rankings. But what if I told you that focusing just on the money completely misses the point? Well, let's dive into this. Because what we're analyzing today isn't merely a biography of building a fortune. Actually, we're going to explore an incredible mindset. We're looking at the source material to decode a life that was built on relentless curiosity, profound foresight, serious hard work, and ultimately a really powerful commitment to giving back to society.
So I want you to keep this really profound question in mind as we go through today's explainer. Is true success only about making money? It's a question that directly challenges that standard, kind of cliche, wealthy billionaire trope we see so often. Because the story of Bill Gates, as outlined in our source material, proves that accumulating all that wealth was really just a byproduct of a much, much larger, world-changing vision. And honestly, by the time we finish unpacking this story, your definition of what it means to be truly successful might just look a little bit different.
Section 1. The Spark of Curiosity. From Books to Bites.
Okay, let's take a trip back to Seattle, where Gates was born in 1955. His childhood was entirely defined by a deep, practically insatiable love for reading. He read everything: history, science, math. But the real spark? That happened at Lakeside School. He and his friend Paul Allen didn't just politely encounter a computer. No, they became absolutely obsessed with this clunky teletype Model 33. They spent every waking hour, and literally every dime they had, buying computer time just to figure out how the thing worked. It wasn't handed to them on a silver platter. They sought it out with this fierce, intense curiosity.
He realized right then and there that this was his future. He wasn't just playing around. He actually learned the grueling process of trial and error. In fact, just to get more computer time, they started a venture together called Trafodata. And here's a surprising fact that rarely makes the headlines: it actually failed. But to Gates, every mistake was just a bug waiting to be fixed. It was a puzzle to be solved. And that relentless debugging loop honed his programming skills and built a level of resilience that would go on to define his entire career, and really, his personal philosophy of continuous improvement.
Moving on to Section 2, Taking a Bold Risk, the Dropout.
A computer in every home and every office.
Today, that's just a statement of fact, right? You probably have a computer sitting in your pocket right now. But back during his school and college days, this was an incredibly ambitious, just wildly audacious shared dream. Most of the world couldn't even fathom it yet. People basically assumed computers were always going to remain these massive, room-sized mainframes strictly for corporations and governments. But Gates and Allen, they had absolute, unwavering conviction in their vision.
So, picture this. Even while he's studying at Harvard, Gates' mind is completely elsewhere. He spots the release of the Altair 8800 microcomputer in a magazine, and it just clicks. He realizes the hardware is finally ready for his software. The timing was absolutely critical. He knew that if he waited around to graduate, the revolution would just pass him right by. So going totally against conventional wisdom, and definitely to the dismay of his parents, he made the agonizing but highly calculated decision to take action and drop out. He trusted his dream over the safe path.
Which brings us to this pivotal year, 1975. The year Microsoft was born. And fun fact here, they didn't start up in Silicon Valley like you might think, but in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They were writing code at a blistering pace for that very first Altair computer. They were this tiny little operation carrying an impossibly grand ambition. In fact, Gates was so intensely focused in these early days that he supposedly memorized the license plates of his employees so he could track exactly when they arrived and when they left work. That is some serious dedication.
Section 3. The Microsoft Revolution, Changing the World.
Now, every great business story has a major breakthrough, a real turning point. For Microsoft, that massive moment was stepping up to provide the operating system for IBM's brand new personal computer. But here is the total genius insight pulled from the source material. Gates didn't just sell IBM the software outright. Nope, he insisted on licensing it, keeping the rights to sell that exact same operating system to other computer makers. That one single negotiation masterstroke shifted the balance of power in tech forever. It set Microsoft up for totally exponential global growth.
And then, just a few years later, came the true masterpiece: Windows. You see, before this, operating a computer required you to memorize and type out all these complex text commands. Computers were rare, they were intimidating, and they were built exclusively for experts. But Windows, it introduced a graphical interface that made computing visual, intuitive, and most importantly, easy for everyone. Ordinary people could suddenly navigate digital spaces effortlessly. That massive leap in accessibility was the exact catalyst that launched Microsoft into the stratosphere and finally achieved his impossible dream of mainstream computing.
Section 4.
A greater purpose. The third act.
So after achieving unimaginable success and wealth, Gates chose a completely new target. Driven by this deeply held philosophy that to whom much is given, much is expected, he established the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And let's be clear, this was not some casual vanity project. It quickly became one of the largest private philanthropic organizations in history. But what's really fascinating is that he engineered it with the exact same data-driven precision as his software, built specifically to actively improve lives all across the globe.
The foundation mobilized billions of dollars to tackle monumental global challenges. We're talking health, education, vaccination, and poverty reduction. Rather than just writing checks and walking away, Gates applied his relentless engineering mindset to deeply complex human problems. Initiatives like the near eradication of wild polio, funding cutting-edge malaria vaccines, and developing next-generation sanitation systems for the developing world. He actively demonstrated that true success isn't just about accumulating wealth, it is absolutely about actively bettering the lives of others.
And that brings us to Section 5. Lessons for the future, the blueprint. Let's rapidly break down these core takeaways because these are highly actionable for all of us. First up, curiosity sparks invention. Remember, this whole thing started just because a kid liked to read and tinker. Second, bold risks change lives. Sometimes you actually have to drop out of the safe path when the timing is right. Third, big dreams lead to big achievements. You literally have to envision the computer in every home before you can build it. Fourth, never stop learning. Fifth, don't fear failure. Look for the hidden opportunities within your mistakes, just like debugging code. And finally, giving back to society is essential.
So let's wrap this all up with the ultimate equation presented in our analysis today. Knowledge plus hard work equals changing the world. The story of Bill Gates is not merely the story of a successful businessman or a massively profitable software company. It is a profound testament to foresight, continuous innovation, and ultimately service to humanity. It teaches us that true greatness lies not just in the incredible heights of success you reach, but in how you actively use that success to elevate the lives of millions of others.
We've seen how one deeply curious kid from Seattle used his passion to completely reshape both the digital and the physical world. So the question remains for you: how will you use your own knowledge to change the world? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.